Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And I continue with Vampire the Masquerade, Shadows of New York, Blind. And now I've been tasked by the Camarilla to uncover the mystery of Baron Callahan's murder, and Catherine Wise has agreed to help me, and I'm meeting some kind of an associate of her, so a woman around my age emerges from around the street corner. Wait. Isn't this Mia from... She might have looked a little bit different, but isn't she an Anarch from Coteries of New York? I've never met her before, but if I had to describe her by her aura alone, I'd guess I use the words permanently angry, even more so than your average Anarch. You must be Catherine Wise. And you must be Mia Morgan. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. The pleasure's mutual. This is your girl? Julia Savinsky, the Lasombra primogen. The Lasombra representative. Which I guess is a lower rank, right? I correct her automatically. At this point it's a habit. Good. If you were a primogen, I might have tried to kill you here and now. Is Torque still on the side? Nah, I told him I'd take it from here. By the end of tonight, he needs to look like a natural candidate for the leader of the New York City Anarchs, and it's going to take a lot of driving around and negotiations. How did he react to finding Callahan's remains? He hasn't exactly elaborated on his feelings, but I expect he reacted the same way every true believer in the cause did. It's a complicated mess of all of the possible feelings under the sun. So he was the first one to the murder site? Oh, so you're already calling it a murder site. Does the Ivory Tower know something we don't? It's not the official position, but I expect a lot of them think it's Torque who stood to benefit the most from the boss's death, and it sounds like he's quick to jump on the new opportunities. You don't know him. Yes, but I would love to meet him and ask him some questions, especially if he was the one who found the body. Well, if you're meeting Torque at all, it won't be tonight. He's too busy. I was assigned to investigate. I won't be able to do it properly if I'm not able to question a key witness. I'll arrange for him to see you this week. This week? Aren't the tensions a little too high for delaying an investigation like this? Well, Torque's work is our best shot at making sure they won't go higher, so boo fucking who. I'm his right-hand woman though. If you got any questions, direct them to me. Maybe the two of you should head first to Callahan's office. The discussion here does not seem to be going in the right direction, and nor a particularly interesting one. You're not coming? Torque and you aren't the only one who have their work cut out for them tonight. I trust you can take it from here. And Mia, be easy on her. In slightly different circumstances, I expect the two of you would have ended on the same side of the barricades. Uh-huh. Take care. She heads back to her vehicle. Well, follow me. I'll show you his place. It's a 19th century style office, classical furniture, and dust covers much of the fragrance of decay, but not all of it. Wait, what? It's a 19th century style office, classical, wooden and smelly, the stuffy air of books, old furniture. I missed the line here. And dust covers much of the fragrance of decay, but not all of it. This is the first time I have seen the remnants of a vampire who has made his final death. I heard the stories of really old kindred crumbling to dust, but that's an exaggeration. At least it didn't happen here. When kindred die, Time catches up with them. If you offed me right now, I would probably turn into a leaky, ugly corpse, but Callahan was well over a century old. It looks like a dapper mummy. A desiccated body in a heap of musty clothes, all that is left of the mighty boss Douglas Callahan, Anarch Baron of the New York City, if that's really him. Needless to say, it might be a little hard to establish a time of death or the cause, especially as his garb doesn't have any obvious damage. What a great place to start. Have you already found anything suspicious? Nothing you don't see in front of you. Huh? This door is the only point of entry to the room, right? Yes, unless you count the windows, but nobody except for Callahan knew to operate those, and they don't let air or light inside, I guess it said. Let's check. Yeah, they don't let air or light through. Metal binders on the windows facing east, the only modern element of the room, sticking out like a sore thumb. They look automated. Was the door open when Torque got here? Well, that's the one suspicious thing. It wasn't. It's as if Callahan locked himself from the inside. A closed room murder, huh? There's some glass scattered on the floor. I point at it. Could that be from the window? I checked it from the outside. It's in perfect condition. So what's the glass? I have no idea. Why does it seem like she has her suspicions, but is remaining uncooperative because fuck off, Camarilla scum? I check on the next point of interest, a wall safe, surprisingly large. I play with the lock a bit. What's the combination? It's Callahan's. What makes you think I know? At least I tried. Desk with nothing but an envelope on it. Nothing inside. I check all of the drawers. Every single one has been thoroughly emptied. I don't know what I expected. Is this how the Anarchs go around securing crime scenes? Were these emptied before Torque arrived? I don't know, but I wouldn't accuse him of tampering with evidence if I were you. Well, thank you. Well, to be honest, he does look kind of suspicious, but that makes me think he's probably a red herring, and the game wants me to think that he was the one that killed Callahan, but in the end it's somebody else entirely. Like, for all I know, it might be Thomas Arturo himself, because back in Coteries it turned out he's pretty shady, and he has a lot of power, and he has a lot of plans sort of in the background that sort of came into fruition at the very end. So I don't know. Although I guess him killing Callahan specifically doesn't make that much sense, because Callahan was bloodbound to Prince Panard, so obviously that was beneficial to the Camarilla, kind of, because they had him partially under control, or at least they were in an uneasy kind of truce with him. So, you know, seeing him replaced with Torque wouldn't really help. At least that's how I interpret that. The decor of the room is pretty minimal, so there's not a lot of points of interest that could illuminate the case. I start getting nervous. I point at the painting on the wall. Of course, you have no idea who that is. Callahan's ancestor, I guess? I'm out of ideas. Everything I look at feels like another dead end. I'm frustrated. I feel like I have failed this investigation before it has even started. There must be something more. I start walking around, trying to find a single clue. Mia just watches me indifferently. Give me anything. Anything, goddammit. Anything. Any... What? Is that a ghost? Because ghosts are actually real in the world of darkness, so that wouldn't be that weird. A shadow blinks in and out of existence near Callahan's remains. He freezes in place. Are you trying to help me? What are you mumbling about? In case you missed it, I'm not particularly fond of your sect. Doesn't seem like Mia noticed it. Give me just a moment more. She groans under her nose and goes back to messaging someone on her phone. When she does, the shadow appears again. Once again, blink in, blink out. Could something be there? I approach the clothes and start searching them for a clue. Maybe they missed something. I'm getting desperate, huh? Just being thorough. We have searched the bastard like 3 times. He had nothing of interest on him. How about this? A small card, barely noticeable, looking a bit like a shopping list, is shoved deep into an almost invisible hole in the fabric. I take it out and show it to Mia. Huh. You didn't plant that there, did you? No, did you? Shove off. What's on it? It's a list of 4 names. D'Angelo, Hope, Agathon, Tamika. Okay, so it's the names of the potential coterie members from coteries of New York. I myself was most interested in D'Angelo and Hope, but to be honest, I kind of botched that previous game because it was structured in a weird and kind of annoying way where you could possibly miss most of the content, because if you wanted to check out everything, in the end you didn't have time to check out anything in detail, and the game didn't really signal to you clearly enough that you should concentrate on like 1 or 2 of those people instead of trying to meet with them all. So I didn't end up finishing any of their quest lines all the way through, which made their existence a little bit pointless. Any idea what this is about? Beats me. She's lying, but I don't care. Tomorrow night I will meet up with Kadir and ask him to help me figure it out. I think I'm done here. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. Guess she sees me as nothing more than an enemy agent. When will I get to meet with Torque? If, and that's a big if, he will agree to meet with you on one-on-one basis, Catherine will let you know. He probably won't let a loyal Camarilla lapdog like you see him without her oversight anyway. Camarilla lapdog, huh? It's a risky play, of course, and might backfire, but maybe I would benefit if I put my loyalty to the court into question. To be honest, it might backfire indeed, and I don't care that much. But to be honest, I do have a lot of plausible deniability, I feel like, because if they become aware of this, I might try to pretend I was just trying to earn the Anarch's trust so that I can solve the case. And if they don't, then to be honest, out of the 2, I'm definitely not that big of a fan of the Camarilla and of its like rigid structure, and especially of the fact that they claim all kindred are Camarilla regardless, like they are Camarilla by default, and just by being created, just by being embraced, you are defaultly under the rule of the Camarilla. I definitely don't agree with that, and in general I feel like the Anarchs are a better proposition, Because even if they sometimes end up as a sort of, you know, like a knockoff Camarilla, like, you know, just a different brand of Camarilla, I feel like at the very least they are a little bit more loose, and at the very least they claim membership on the basis of choice, which, you know, to me is already kind of better. So a Camarilla lapdog, I don't think so. Please. Well, aren't you? Trust me, I'm not the type who bites the hand that feeds her, but the court's favorite pastime is leaving me starved. Ah, so it's like that, huh? Yeah. Trait updated. What would that be? And where is it displayed? Loyal only to myself. Yet, to be honest, I feel like that's a decent enough attitude to adopt in the world of vampires, because nobody really, the Camarilla doesn't care about you, like, and they never will. They just can. They either view you as a valuable asset or they don't, but they don't care about you the way your friends would care about you. And to be honest, vampires don't really have friends most of the time. So, you know, I think it's most important to just care about doing what you think is right and just trying to stay alive yourself, rather than being loyal to a sect because of some preconceived notion of that of the fact that you're supposed to choose a side. Like, if I am supposed to choose a side, I choose myself in this particular setting. Yeah. She studies me carefully. I will keep that in mind, depending on how the situation unfolds. Good. In the meantime, have a good night. You too. It's getting late, or early, depending on how you look at it. Once I leave Callahan's office, I head straight to Dakota's apartment. I try to sneak by my bedroom, but she's up waiting for me. How was your night? Shit. Tomorrow. What happened? You look like something the cat dragged in. Tomorrow, I promise. But I'm worried. Don't be. Tomorrow. She gives me a concerned look and closes her eyes, slumps her shoulders and frowns. Alright. You're the best. I reach my pitch-black room and throw myself on the bed. The responsibilities, the stakes, the way I always feel too slow to react properly in these situations. I don't want to think. I want to turn off my brain. I want to drift into the void. Into the void. To the void. Into the void. Okay. It was kind of weird. I guess I have to rest. You have received your first trait. Some choices in the game will push Julia towards different ways of thinking, which will have a lasting effect on her throughout the story. You will see a brief pop-up on the screen anytime you receive a new trait. You can always view any unlocked trait in the log screen, accessed through the top left icon. Remember that ruthlessness is the mark of a true Lasombra, but you might walk another path before reaching that destination. Always told you would make it big. And get real, these assholes are just using me as a pawn in some stupid fourth-dimensional chess game. Yeah, that's definitely what I think as well. As opposed to just keeping you off the chessboard, don't be a glass-half-empty buzzkill. Which, watch them make me a scapegoat or something. That would be exciting. I could write a book about living with a 21st century Lee Harvey Oswald. Come on, don't even joke like that. I haven't killed anyone. To be honest, I might have. Like, I don't think it was ever resolved whether it was me who killed Antonov in the intro. And Julia, honey, neither did Oswald. Yeah, right. I keep forgetting. Stop wriggling or I will mess your face up. Ah, she's making my makeup. And doing my makeup, I guess. It's the correct turn of a phrase. Sorry. I'm always obedient when she's busy working on my makeup, yeah, right. It's hard to take care of your appearance, especially your face, when you cannot even see yourself in a mirror. Not that I ever have been particularly good at it, but Dakota doesn't seem to mind. I'm her goth dress-up doll. Her presence in my unlife is one of the few good things that my sire provided for me before fucking off to Chicago. Normally, I'd be told to find myself a ghoul, but many of our clan, myself included, find the idea of ghouls distasteful. We're cat people, not dog people. We don't want mindlessly faithful servants. We want companions who rely on us, despite having, in theory anyway, the free will not to. The kind of relationship I have with Dakota would normally be a breach of the Masquerade rules, but the rules are different for kindred who are Camarilla adjacent. Even losers like me. Simplifying here, but my sire made it clear that her child would not own slaves, and that was the end of the discussion. To be honest, I think the court mostly agreed to that request because they wanted one more thing to blackmail me with, just in case. What would you do in my place? If I had to investigate your elite's wrongdoing? Yeah. I'd probably look for those rich fucks pedophile rings. Look for the assholes who mention pizza suspiciously often. See who has powerful friends in the Manhattan jails. Stuff like that. Is this a reference to Pizzagate? I kind of wasn't expecting that, but okay. Oh, come on. Nah, I'm serious. Search for the deep rot and smell, and a lot of smaller crimes will get solved in the process. What is it with you and conspiracy theories? What do you mean? You have just told me your bosses are having eyes wide shut parties, and suddenly you don't believe in rich people's pedophile rings? I don't know. I don't know if I want to know. My point is, if you act as if all of the you act as if all of the conspiracy theories are real, like you can't possibly believe all that shit. Half of it doesn't even make sense. Well, you want an interesting answer or a real answer? And the real answer should be the more interesting one. She removes her brush from my face to gather her thoughts. Everyone's lost nowadays. Just look at the world. It's drowning in facts that fail to cohere into a single convincing narrative or a story that resonates. The corporate media wants you to believe in empirical thinking, but it always fails to deliver a moral or metaphysical truth, and the people desperately lack those. So what do? They turn to conspiracists, and suddenly they are able to navigate the world. And why is that? Because conspiracy theories give them emotional truths that serve as a compass. Is Bill Gates trying to insert satanic microchips into my body? Probably not. I hope not. Now, is he a terrible person? No idea, but there's ample evidence that might be the case. It's in his ruthless business strategies, the company he used to keep, the philosophies he follows. People look at him and they feel he's fishy. So when the media presents him as a genius or a savior, and I post that he wants to put the mark of the beast in my body, They choose to believe me. Because it makes them moral. Because it makes moral, emotional, and metaphysical sense to them. And ultimately, that's what matters most. The end. What? That's kind of my point. Like, to be honest, I'm not much for conspiracy theories. I find most of them to be pretty ridiculous. And in fact, my patron, when I was doing internship as part of my university, as part of my studies, when I was doing internship, my patron was like a conspiracy theory nut. Like he basically believed in half the conspiracy theories that I even know, and at a certain point, I started to like goad him by mentioning certain conspiracy theories that I know of, just to check if he believed in them as well. Because, for example, he believed that the moon landing was faked, that it was filmed in a studio, that there were secret Nazi bases on Antarctica. He believes that vaccines cause autism and generally cause diseases instead of preventing them. He believes that evolution does not happen because he's a creationist. What else? He believes that 9/11 was an inside job by the United States government. What else? He basically believes all kinds of crazy stuff, and it's very surprising to me because he's a successful lawyer. He has his own law firm, and he's doing quite well for himself. He's not some kind of an unwashed hobo, losing his mind because of drinking too much. He's at first glance he's a very well-adjusted person in society, and he's making good money and supporting himself and his family through a way of business that you would usually associate with well-adjusted, intelligent people. Because, as I said, he's a lawyer, and yet he believes all of those crazy things. Like, I don't quite get it, to be honest, and neither do I get her entirely. Like, I understand her point of her saying that people like conspiracy theories because they appeal to their emotions, but I'm not sure how it makes moral sense to them. Like, I guess this is my response. I don't know if I want to engage with the contents of this rant too deeply. You came up with this monologue yourself? Oh no, I read it on Facebook. Oh, figures. But just to make sure, vaccines are okay? Well, as far as I know, they don't cause autism. Good to hear. Anywho, I'm done. You're the best. Yeah, considering how many times I've done makeup on a dead body, I probably have enough job experience to be a mortician by now. Now that sounds like an exciting career, but in reality, it is probably the most boring thing under the sun. Yeah, I like my corpses talkative, porty, and self-loathing. Shut up. This carcass will be leaving now. It's got a job to do. Go get him, Tiger. First thing I need to do, meet up with Kadir tonight and report to him. I hope he knows how to guide me out of this mess. He should have time for me in an hour or so. In the meantime, I suppose it's time to find some... What's the most dehumanizing word I could use? Nourishment. Kadir told me that I need to quench my hunger less often. Kadir told me I would need to quench my hunger less often if I didn't smoke. It kills you, he said. But to start killing itself, your organism must pretend it's alive, and it uses a precious vitae. Okay, that's actually kind of fascinating to me, because I guess what she's implying here is that to even be able to smoke, she has to burn up blood to, call the power of the blood to pretend to be alive, to breathe properly, so that she can, well, you don't inhale a cigarette, but you know what I mean. To effectively smoke it, she has to will her body to activate sort of the pretend version of life functions, and it actually costs her blood. That's kind of interesting, because at first I was sort of baffled by the fact that smoking kills me, he said, because obviously I'm already dead. It's not that I can get cancer or anything, but I guess what he meant in the long run is that it depletes my blood supply that I smoke. But I love cigarettes, the way they smell, the way they burn, the hot ash falling from the top, the sound of the lighter, the way they kill you, of course. And I guess I need some tactile connection to who I was back when I was alive. Okay, New York City, guide my steps. Show me which one of your children I should drink up tonight. Okay, so I have 3 choices. Bunny as a reporter. The note left at my old dead drop point reads, Bunny as a reporter. Shit, could it be Woods? Long time no see. What does one do when the ghost of Christmas past knocks on the door? A slap on the wrist. Samira is asking me to meet her. If not for the ongoing celebrations, the patrician would prove an odd choice for a secret rendezvous. Here's hoping she can provide some useful insight into the case. Diva's Delight, a fitting name for a kiss addict, audacious enough to openly pitch her unique taste to those in the know. I am not in a clubbing mood, but since I need to feed, I might as well give that rumor a shot. Well, to be honest, this probably seems like it's most plot relevant, but I'm not sure if it's part of the main story. But just on the off chance that it isn't, I would like to pursue that first, because I wouldn't like for it to disappear. So let's go meet with Samira. A clean-cut staff member, dressed in an impeccable company uniform, smiles at me as the elevator door opens. Good evening, ma'am. Meeting someone? I dismiss his question with an apathetic shrug. He sizes me up for a brief moment, visibly questioning my fashion sense. However, his professional acumen quickly trumps his discontent. Very well, this way please. NYC Novarish seems awfully starving for a gourmet soup this late at night. The patrician is packed almost to the brim. The concierge... I still haven't read the last time, since the last time I played Coteries of New York, I still haven't learned how to say this word. Is it concierge? Probably not. Probably not, but I don't know how to read that. Points me over to the last vacant table, conveniently situated in the far-off corner of the main hall. I nestle in the chair, letting my elbows rest on the ornate tablecloth. Watch out, oblivious white collars. There's a black widow in your midst. Well, I'm here. Might as well kick back and die of boredom. Yeah. I really need something to occupy my mind. Wait, is she here? From the description, I assumed she isn't yet. Like, I'm waiting for her, so how can I figure out why she asked me to come? I guess I'm going to have a smoke and just watch people. The pretentious atmosphere gradually begins to creep under my skin, straining my mind and dulling my awareness. I take a peek into into my trusty medicine pack. 2 cancer sticks left. Cancer stick. That's a name if I ever seen one for a cigarette. Is this something that smokers actually use? Like, if any of you have heard people actually call cigarettes cancer sticks in real life, then let me know, because that would be kind of both hilarious and kind of a little disconcerting. Actually, my best friend used to collect different cigarette boxes, you know, with the different warnings, because each of them has a different photo and a different warning, warning you of the afflictions that smoking will bring down upon you. You know, you have like pictures of diseased lungs and saying that it causes lung cancer, and then like pictures of diseased throats and eyes, and like pictures of dead people even, and like you know, they straight up sometimes tell you that it's literally going to kill you and it's not worth it. You shouldn't be smoking this. And he was collecting different kinds of them because he wanted to have all of them. Basically, it was like a collection of all of the kinds of horrible death that might be brought upon him if he continues smoking. I casually light one, paying no attention to the scornful looks of the nearby patrons. There's an aura enveloping this place, and it's suffocating. Everyone here seems so awfully toffee-nosed, as if they were destined for greatness by the sheer virtue of their birth. Airs and graces everywhere you look, and an adorned hamster cage where everyone is trying to either suck up to their betters or get their asses kissed by the overeager underlings. The fact that I find it so pathetic is probably part of the reason why I never amounted to anything. C'est la vie. As I take another whiff, I notice a well-groomed staff member, the manager I guess, gazing at me from behind his horn rims. He's competent enough to keep the appearances, but I can tell he's on the warpath. Well, I kind of didn't consider that it might not be allowed to smoke in here, but I guess I am kind of committed to it now, so eyeball him until he yields. Let's enter a staring contest. There's something about the guy that rubs me the wrong way. I nonchalantly exhale a cloud of smoke and return his menacing look. He just turns his back on me as if nothing happened. As I continue to scan my surroundings, I notice the concierge answering a phone call and frantically jotting down a note. Good, get back to work, buddy. Just as the thought of leaving crosses my mind, he glances at me briefly before hanging up. The concierge quickly closes in on me, dancing habitually between tables, and addresses me before I can even utter a single word. Excuse me, ma'am, are you Miss Savinsky by chance? As soon as I nod, he hands me a carefully folded memo and leaves. For how quickly he scribbled it down, the note is impeccably calligraphed. It reads, The manager of this establishment insulted the Camarilla's authority with his negligence. Even though it's minor, his transgression must be penalized. I would like you to assist me in this matter. Such a display of goodwill on your part will surely improve your standing with the higher-ups. Choose an appropriate, not non-lethal punishment. S. Well, this is disappointing. It was a high order to expect any help with the investigation, I guess. Instead, just another chore. The best I can hope for is that this really is just a friendly request and not a deliberate attempt to derail my work this early in the game. Damn it. Might as well get it done, since I'm already here, so I can move on with more pressing stuff. I swiftly approach the manager and tap him on the shoulder. He furrows his brow as soon as he notices me. I'm afraid I'm busy. One of the waiting staff should be able to. He has something to discuss. The VIP lounge. Now, if you please. His face loses color. Maybe it has dawned on him that I'm even paler than the other, more blue-blooded guests. He immediately becomes compliant as I escort him through a side door. The room isn't empty, but the guests are just leaving. Nobody pays me any attention. The manager is as polite as he can be, as he sees the patrons out, but I can see he's clearly losing his shit. He quietly asks one of the staff to give him 5 minutes in the lounge and gingerly closes the doors behind him. Then the pleading starts. Listen, I know I screwed up. I shouldn't have let him in. How could I know he's not one of the proper clients? Oh, this is about the mission from In Coteries with Agathon, where you trick this guy into letting Agathon and yourself, the player character, into the VIP lounge to investigate something for the Tremere. I don't give a listen. Hey, I would never. I implore you. I have children, for Christ's sake. There must be something, an arrangement, a way to... It just goes on and on as if I'm not even here. With each subsequent whimper, he becomes more and more irritating. To be honest, I don't hold any particular ill will towards him because, and that's precisely because I don't hold any particular loyalty for the Camarilla. Like, to be honest, I kind of don't care about most of their traditions, and I don't care about most of their power plays, so let's just explain it to him calmly. Just shut up for a goddamn second. Well, I guess this is a calm explanation in the view of my character. My outburst finally makes him hold his tongue. I light the last cig in the package and take a slow puff, trying to compose myself. I have no use for your explanation and justification. I don't know what sort of transgression you have committed. I should have never left this Sansarkic guy? Sansarkic? What? And truth be told, I don't give a shit. It will never happen again, I swear on my mother's grave. Just... I'm not that good of a judge of character, but him pleading with his arms out really makes him look like the biblical wayward son, swearing to change his ways. To be honest, they probably expect something more than a stern talking to. But I don't care about pleasing the Camarilla that much. Like, I'm not going to... Branding him seems kind of excessive. Like, I'm not sure about what kind of a brand the game is talking about, but I assume it's something, you know, permanently disfiguring. So I will just give him a warning. I approach him slowly, with the nastiest smile that I can master. With my every step, the sound of his voice falters ever so slightly, until all that is left is the ambience of the room and the main lobby beyond. Then I put my finger right in his face. This is your last fucking chance. If I ever have to come here again. As I show him the throat-slitting gesture, the faint scent of urine begins to spread through the room. Jesus Christ. If I could only see myself in the mirror right now. I don't want to be here for a second longer. I take off. I realize how close I was to just ripping this guy a new asshole. Karen warned me that something in our bloodline finds sniveling weaklings detestable. Is that what triggered me? But that's a conundrum for another occasion. I did what I asked, and I sure as hell wasted enough time here. I should move on. Okay, and this is in fact a perfect moment to end the episode, so I'm going to do just that. That's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.